bus from Bosnia to Montenegro, and once we create the immigration between both of the countries, it's actually quite nice here in Montenegro. Many mountains with beautiful rivers, and also this scenery is actually quite breathtaking. So I'm actually quite glad to take the bus from Bosnia and Herzegovina to Montenegro. I checked into my hostel in Montenegro. It's quite nice. I finally get my own room because I'm quite tired of sleeping in the hostel, so I give myself a break for 2 days. But overall speaking, this room is not too bad because it's only around 30 euros per night, so I think it's worth it because you have your own room and your own shower, and you can sleep well. So I need a break from sleeping with many different people in the hostel for the past like 5 days. So yeah, now I'm gonna rest well and explore this country. Taking the train from Podgorica to Ostrog, and the fun fact is that the view is quite nice for this like a 1 hour train ride, and it's also quite cheap. It's like 1.8 euros. Because if you go to other countries in Europe and you ride a train for this distance, it will cost maybe 3 or 4 times more the price. So it's quite nice to actually explore this country in a quite cheap way. Lower Osprog Church, and the fun fact is that actually walking from the train station to here took 1 hour, and the hiking trail is very badly designed. So yes, quite nice to actually see this. As you can see, the church looks quite nice. So let's see what it looks like inside. Get to Ostrog Monastery. It's actually a very long hike from Ostrog station, but then they build a monastery on top of a mountain. So here you can see it's quite crowded, yeah, but it's quite nice because we're going inside and we're gonna have a monastery. You can actually see a very beautiful mountain right here next to it. So it's actually a very long hike. As you can see, the train station is very down over there, and we hike all the way from the train station to reach here. So it's a very long but very good exercise. The top of the monastery, and it's actually quite incredibly view here. As you can see, a lot of like different people that comes here. And also the view is very breathtaking once you reach the top of this monastery. So we're actually inside the monastery, and it's actually quite beautiful. We're taking the train back to the city center of Podgorica, and it's very interesting that this train here actually takes a long time. It takes around maybe 3 to 4 hours for one train. So it's very unfortunate. You have to maybe spend half a day to explore this city. So we're now finally trying some Montenegro food. So we have the porridge, the ham, and also this dish that you can only find in Montenegro but not in other Balkan countries. So yeah, quite good. Quite finally can dig in and have a good meal. Second stop of today, which is another monastery, but this one is near Podgorica. But the fun fact is that when you look here, the architecture looks quite nice upstairs. The Dajbabe Monastery. I don't know if I say the name right, but it actually looks quite nice because you can see a lot of things around this monastery. But then we'll actually head inside and check what's there to see inside this monastery. Inside the monastery, and actually you can see it's quite nice, this monastery, although it's not that big. You can see it's quite nice, and then also they have a secret passage. Yeah, which you can see. Yeah, it's actually a very cool monastery. You get inside.
It's like a cave.
It's like a cave, yes, exactly. The waterfall is called the Niagara Waterfall in Podgorica. It's actually a quite small waterfall. You can actually get close to it, as you can see. You're actually very near the waterfall. So it's actually quite interesting because this waterfall is not close to the object, but then you can actually get close pictures to the waterfall, but then you have to be careful about whether you fall down or not. The entrance to the waterfall, so you can see it's actually quite scary. But yeah, I think you have to go here once in your life. Finally made it to the final stop of today, which is the Independence Square. So you can see here has the communist style buildings and architecture, and right here. So yeah, that's it for today, and then tomorrow. So we're now heading to Tirani from Podgorica, and the view is very nice on this bus. So yeah, this bus ride is actually quite cheap, just around 4 hours. And Of Montenegro and Albania, so it's actually a very fast ride, just around 30 minutes to reach the border from Podgorica to the border of the two countries. So yeah, Albania. So when you cross the border from Montenegro to Albania, the interesting part is that they won't stamp your passport when you exit Montenegro, and when you also enter Albania, they won't stamp your passport. So yeah, that's a bit unfortunate. So now I'm enjoying the bus ride. Yeah. To the capital city of Albania, which is Tirana. So it's like 3 hours away from the border of Albania and Montenegro. To another site in Tirana called the pyramid. So this pyramid is a bit different from the one in Egypt. But let's see what it looks like inside. Going inside the pyramid, so it's actually, I think, a mall inside, but the architecture is quite stunning. So yeah. And we're finally inside, so yeah. I guess it's mostly just like a shopping mall and like maybe office building, but they make it into a famous tourist site in Tirana, Albania. So this is what it looks like. I think the architecture is quite amazing. Inside, and then the fun fact of this pyramid is that you can actually climb up to the top. So that's what we're doing now. To the top, and in the top you can actually get a very good view of the city of Tirana, and it's a very nice view. And yeah, I think it's the best part of this is that it's free. You don't need to spend money to see the view of this capital city. So yeah. I have the pyramid, and you can see the other part of Tirana. It's actually quite stunning. Luckily today it didn't rain, so we can still enjoy this view. This is the center of Tirana, and it looks like this. Quite beautiful actually, and quite peaceful. It's not as hectic as other capital cities in the Balkan countries. To another important site in Tirana, so it's a museum. And inside you can actually see a lot of different kinds of history and some reminders about the past of Albania. So it's actually quite good to go to this museum to learn more about the past in Albania. Inside, so this is what a shower looks like. Actually just finished seeing a bunker. So the fun fact of that bunker is that it used to be a World War II bunker for nuclear energy, but then after that they changed it into museum to learn, so you can learn more about Albania and also the past of Albania and how it has been impacted during the communist regime. It's quite interesting. And then now we're heading to another site, so I guess it's quite cool to actually go to this country even though it's just for one day. Yeah, to the National Historical Museum in Albania, but unfortunately it's closed because it's under renovation, as you can see here. But even though it's closed, you can see that the city center is quite beautiful. You can see the Albanian flag right here and also all the buildings. So I guess this view is very breathtaking. Although it would have been nice, it would have been nice to actually go inside the museum and get to learn more about Albania's history. Main square of Tirana, which is Skanderbeg Square. So you can see the statue of a very famous person in Albania and the Albanian flag, and also a very big Albanian flag next to the opera house. So this square is actually quite nice to feel in. and it's not as crowded as other places, so yeah. Sometimes I will go to a coffee shop and then work and then at the same time have some snack. So quite here I have the traditional Albanian cake and the tea, which looks very good, so yeah. In Albania, I'll have the traditional dinner, so it comes in starters, main course and dessert. So I get an Albanian beer and then my starter is the bread and the salad, so yeah. Can't wait to eat this meal and also eat the other dish that is coming. Second course, which is the bread and special like lamb, it tastes very good, so yeah. We finally get the lamb chops, so yeah, it's quite, I think, a very heavy meal actually, having all of this. My meal, and then now you can see that this restaurant is actually very crowded even though on the off-peak season. So I think it's the right choice to try this restaurant because it's actually quite crowded and many people. From Tirana to Athens, Greece, so it's going to be a very fun trip.